Warning: while taking these assessments, students may experience a wide variety of emotions. Everyone, today on Teaching with Tech, I'm going to introduce you to an app which is going to make giving formative assessments super fun for your students and super easy for you to make. With Quizizz, you can grab a quiz and you can give that to your students to play live, or you can give it to them as a homework assignment. Your students will go out online to www.quizizz.join. You will then activate your quiz, which will produce a 6-digit code the students will enter here. I know what you're thinking, and yes, this is like Kahoot, only with many, many more options. Once out at quizizz.com, click on the Get Started button and sign up with your Google account. If you aren't quite ready to create your own quizzes, or if you are in a super big hurry and need a quiz really fast, Quizizz has thousands of quizzes that are pre-made and they're available for you to use. So if you come over here to the public tab and click on the public tab, this is going to bring up for you options so that you can click for pre-made quizzes. So I'm going to go ahead and click right here in the search box, and let's say I'm looking for a quiz on slopes. I can come over here, type that in, click on the grade level, and then I can search for pre-made quizzes. This is going to bring up for me a lot of different options. You can see almost 4,000 on just slope. So I can go ahead and if I'm interested in looking at these, I can scroll over the quiz and notice how on the right hand side it will bring up for me all of the questions. So this particular quiz has 15 questions on it. I can scroll through and see if those questions are of interest to me. If they are, and I can just click on that quiz, and then it will show me exactly in a little bit more detail what the question is and what the answers are. Now on the left hand side, you'll notice this little eyeball. If I click on that, that's going to tell me what the correct answer is. So if I want to double check and make sure that this quiz is legit and this is one I want to use, that gives me some more options. From this point, I have a couple of options. If I want to go ahead and play this live right now, I can click on this play live and it will automatically get the quiz ready to go. If this is something that I want to save and have available for future use, or if I have multiple classes, up here it gives you some options. We're going to go ahead and click on the add option, and this is going to bring up for me a list of folders that I have already created in my account. So if I wanted to, I could click on math and I could add it to my math one. But I want to show you, if you don't have one yet, you can create a collection, and let's call this one algebra. So I'm going to go ahead and create that collection, and notice how this little green box over here shows me that now this quiz has been added to my algebra folder. Let me go back and show you what that looks like. Up here in your toolbar, if you click on My Quizizz, it will take you back over to your dashboard page, and on the left hand side you're going to see your collections. And right there you'll notice at the bottom, here's my new collection for algebra. I'm going to click on that, and there's that quiz. All I'm going to do to get this going for my students at this point, I'm going to click on the quiz, click Play Live. You're going to click on Proceed, and this is going to bring up for you that code that I told you about that you're going to give your student. After the quiz is finished, you as the teacher will get this chart. And this chart is really helpful as it shows you the results of the quiz. So for example, I could look at question number 2 and see that most students missed that question, so I should probably reteach that skill. I can also look at the student and notice that Carson seemed to miss a fair amount of questions on this quiz, and he may need to have some interventions. Patrick, on the other hand, looks like he managed to do really well in this, so he can move on to the next set of skills. About some intermediate options. So let's go ahead and go back up to the toolbar at the top, and let's go back to public. Once we're on public, let's go ahead and search for a quiz, and this time let's search for Washington State history. Again, I'm going to go for middle level, and I'm going to go ahead and search. Once I'm here, here's a Washington quiz review, and I haven't really looked at this, but let's say I took the time, I looked at it, and I said, oh, I really like that quiz, I want to use that one. I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and this time as I look through here, I come across a question and I say, oh, question number 4, I really don't like question number 4. I'd like to change that and make that my own. This is what you do if you want to change a quiz and make it yours. You're going to come up here, instead of clicking the add button, you're going to click on the duplicate button. And it's going to take just a moment. It duplicates your quiz for you. Now, once it's been duplicated, you're going to go back over here to My Quizizz. And at the top on the right hand side, you're going to notice here's a list of quizzes. These are ones that I have duplicated or I've created on my own. Notice that the name right here, this is my name, so now this quiz belongs to me, even though somebody else created it. But now what I can do is I can click on that quiz and I could go in and I could change features on this quiz. So for example, let's say on this question that I didn't want it to be a 2-minute quiz. I wanted it to be a little less than that. So what I could do is I can come through here and I can change the question. So I can edit these questions. So up here at the top, let's click on edit. And this is going to bring up a list of all the questions. So notice the questions over here on this side. If I wanted to delete a question, I could delete a question. If I wanted to change the answers over here, I could change the answers over here. I can add an image. So if I wanted a picture to go along with this, let's say that you were doing something in science and you wanted them to label a specific part of the body or a specific part of a contraption, you could put the picture of it there and you could ask them what is the name of this, and then they would be able to do that. So a really fabulous thing that you can do with Quizizz is you can take somebody else's quiz, you can change it, finish and create that quiz, and now it's ready for you and you have made it your own. Let's go back over here to My Quizizz. One other thing that I want to show you is after you've made it your own, you've made the changes you want, you're going to want to come over here and click on Add. And when I click on Add, I want to add this to my Washington State History folder. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It's been added. And now when I come over here to Washington State History, I'm going to find that quiz over there. All right, so that's one advanced feature. Another thing I want to show you, let's go ahead and open this up. Let's go ahead and play this. Now, before I proceed, I want to talk to you a little bit about the settings. This jumble the questions, if you have this turned on, that means it changes the order for all of your students. So one student might get question 5 as their first question, another one might have question 2 as their first one. So they can't look on each other's screens. Jumble the answers, same thing, but within the question, the answers get jumbled around. If you want the students to be able to see the answer after the question, whether they got it right or not, or at the end of the game, if you want them to be able to go back and do a quiz review. So you can turn these features on or off just by clicking on the little toggle switch. Down below, these are the game settings. Show a leaderboard. This is so students can see where they are. So if you really want this to be a competition, which they love, you can turn this on. If you don't want them to see how they fall in the placing of the questions, answering yes or no, click that off. A timer. If you turn this on, then you can set specific times for each question. So if you want 30 seconds, if you want a minute, whatever. And then if this feature is turned on, the way it works is that a student will get 400 points out of 1,000 for how fast they answer the question. 600 of those 1,000 points per question is based on whether they get the answer right or wrong. And so if you want to know how well they know the answer, how quick they can answer that question, that one can be turned on or off, depending on if you want speed to be a factor or not. Now, memes, this is really such a great feature. And so after every question, if you have this memes turned on, it will bring up a funny picture with a funny saying on it, like, oh, really? Is that your best guess? So anyway, the kids just love that feature, but you can turn it off if you want to turn it off. If you want to change the different types of memes, you can come over here and you can change the different memes. You can look at these, explore them, etc. So that's a really fun thing, or you can have music on or off. As an advanced feature, you can choose to give this quiz either online live, in which time it will finish as soon as the time of the quiz is finished, or you can assign this quiz as homework. All you have to do is click on the homework button, and now you can set the time feature. So you can make this due whenever and whatever time that you want. And then when you click proceed, the students will have until that time period in order to finish this quiz. Also create your own quizzes. So let's head over here to the toolbar and click on create. And this is going to take you out here. You have to put in a name. It won't let you do anything unless you do that. Now there's some options here. You can add an image. This will, if you click on this, it takes you out to your files on your computer. You can import a file. Now it has to be either in an Excel or some type of spreadsheet format or a CSV file, but that's an advanced feature if you have a quiz you already want to import. Down below here, let me draw your attention real quick to public versus private. If you make this public, it's going to go out there to the thousands of quizzes that are available for anyone to be able to use. Private obviously keeps it just to you. I strongly suggest that you put it public. If we are taking from others, we also want to be able to contribute to that environment. All right, when you finish, you can go ahead and click Done. Now, this is going to be the place where you're going to be able to edit your question. So here you can type in your question, add an image to go along with your question. Down here, click here to add your answers, so you're going to have your different answers. Click over here on the one that you want to make it be your correct answer. Now, a feature that is really amazing to me, if you have a particular question that you want to, that you're searching for, so you want to find out, I don't know, who was the first president, and you want a question that's already pre-made on this, if you click on this option, it will take you out online and it will find questions that match the question that you typed in here. So for example, if I click on this one and I want to say, let's just grab this one, okay, I'm going to click on this, and this is going to put just that particular question into my question set on my quiz. So this is really super fabulous feature that you can use within here when you're creating your question. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Notice now that this question got brought in, okay? And then I can, if I wanted to, I'll create a new question and I can type in a couple of my own, and then I'm struggling to come up with a question to ask. I'm going to come up here and do this. It goes online and searches through all of the questions that are out there that are available to you. So what a super fabulous feature. You create your quiz. When you're finished creating your quiz, click on finish. It's going to, of course, want me to finish this before it will allow me to do so, but then I'm done and I've created my own quiz. Later I can come back and I can edit the quiz information if I want to do so. Features I want to share with you. Up here on your dashboard, on the toolbar, if you look under My Reports, and if you click on that, it's going to bring you up to this page where you'll be able to view reports from all the quizzes that you have that you've used. So these are ones I currently have running, but the completed ones, when I click on these, it's going to bring up all of the tests that I have given. And so, okay, so once you're into My Reports, if you click on the questions section, you can see what the questions were that were asked, and you can also get some further information. So what was the accuracy overall of your class, and what was the accuracy of the individual questions. So some really good information here. You can download this information into an Excel spreadsheet. The other thing you can do up here at the other tab next to the players is you can take a peek through here and you'll be able to get a glance at how your class did as a whole on that particular quiz, what individual students, how they did, as well as if there was anything that you need to reteach to your class. Once you are also at the players section, you have an option to be able to email the parent. And so if you click on that one, you can send an email and it will send a report to the parent about how your student did on that particular assessment. So some really great features under My Reports. Remember those memes I mentioned earlier? Well, up here on your dashboard in your toolbar, if you click on My Memes, this is going to take you out to a place where you can create your own memes. Imagine how fun this would be for your students to have personalized memes created by you. So, for example, if they answered a question incorrectly, then all of a sudden something like this pops up on the screen. This can sure make taking an assessment fun on the part of the student, and you'll hear some giggles and laughs along the way. Boy, I tell you could get so creative with these, but you'll be able to set this up now so that when you create a quiz and you go to make a quiz, you can add your personal memes into that. Students can use just about any device that connects to the internet to take an assessment on Quizizz. There's also an iOS app available. Thank you for watching and have fun creating your assessments on Quizizz.com.